I've got a yes or no question for you. Do Australians like medium SUVs? Don't answer, that's actually a joke. Of course they do, and they like them in massive numbers. Now this is the new Nissan X-Trail, and finally, Nissan can go into the battle with the likes of Mazda CX-5 and Toyota RAV4 with an X-Trail that can compete at the top end of that segment. And Nissan's X-Trail has actually remained pretty popular with Australian buyers, despite being such an aging product. But now, with this new X-Trail, they can actually go into battle with something that they believe they can take the fight right up to the segment leaders, because this is one of the original SUVs. It's always been a favourite with Australian buyers, and Australian buyers have wanted an updated X-Trail for some time now. The new Nissan X-Trail is offered in a choice of 4 model grades: ST, STL, TI and TIL, and it hits Nissan Australia dealers 2 years after its US launch. It will cost more than the model that it replaces. Buyers of the entry-level ST and STL grades have a choice of 5 seats and front-wheel drive, or 7 seats and all-wheel drive, while the higher spec TI and TIL will be offered exclusively with 5 seats and all-wheel drive. Pricing starts from $36,750 plus on-road costs and runs all the way up to $52,990 before on-road costs for the flagship TIL 5-seat all-wheel drive. All models at launch will be powered by a 2.5-litre non-turbo 4-cylinder petrol engine shared with its twin under the skin, the Mitsubishi Outlander. It makes 135 kilowatts and 244 newton meters. Importantly, all models come with a constantly variable transmission, and the tow capacity is up to 2,000 kilograms. It's all well and good to have a stylish exterior so that your medium SUV looks amazing when you're 20 feet away from it. But right here, this is where you spend the majority of your time. You don't stand around looking at your car, you're in it, driving it. And I think Nissan has done a really, really good job of bringing this interior right up to where we expect it to be in 2022. Now, this is a TIL that I'm sitting in at the moment. So you've got head-up display, you've got big screens, the touch screen is responsive. I like where it's positioned up there on the dash. It's nicely mounted in there too. It doesn't look like an afterthought. It looks like it belongs there. Nissan's done a really good job of simplifying the buttons and controls. Drive mode dial down here, really neat gear shifter design there, and switches for the heating and ventilation there, heated seats as well. Steering wheel switches are really easy to understand. Wireless charging pad, which doubles as clever storage for your phone because it isn't flying all over the cabin. You get that floating center console, useful storage here. A sunroof, really high quality fit and finish and use of materials. These seats are comfortable. This is an excellent cabin, and it's a really, really comfortable place to spend time if you're out on a long road trip or if you're trucking around town. It doesn't really matter. But if you're a family buyer, if you're a younger buyer without kids, but you're thinking about having a family, this is the sort of SUV that you should be looking at, and the X-Trail is going to do a fantastic job of exactly what buyers expect in this segment. Most of the available advanced safety features are standard across the range, including autonomous emergency braking with pedestrian and cyclist detection and support for intersections, lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert. Also standard is an airbag between the front seats, a key feature among cars which have scored 5 stars under the latest ANCAP crash safety testing criteria, including the new X-Trail's rival from Hyundai, Kia and Haval, and that makes the X-Trail's 5-star ANCAP rating even more valuable. The first thing that I've enjoyed driving this X-Trail, and I have to be honest, it surprised me, is the CVT. I'm not the biggest fan of CVTs, I never have been, and yet the one that Nissan has used in this application is a really, really good one. It doesn't have that high revving, whiny, slipping clutch type feel that a lot of the old CVTs had, so I think it's a really good unit, and it works well with that 4-cylinder petrol engine that is actually pretty powerful, and it gets the job done without ever feeling like you need to work it too hard. If you do work it hard, if you're towing, if it's loaded up, if you're doing freeway speeds for long periods of time, it's probably going to use a little bit more fuel than it otherwise would around town. But aside from that, it's a good engine, it's smooth and it's refined. I really like the general flexibility of the X-Trail, and I think that buyers in this medium SUV segment largely spend their time around town, but this is often the primary family vehicle. So it means if you do head out on a road trip, you're going to be driving on roads like we are now, out here in the country, doing a bit of exploring. It rides really well, it handles poor road surfaces with ease, it remains comfortable, and the interior is a high point as well. It's comfortable, the seat comfort is really good even after a few hours behind the wheel. This is a high spec model that we're in again, so you get head-up display, which I think is a really good advantage as well. It's kind of something that we almost want in every car now without exception. And this is just a really practical touring vehicle for family buyers. So I know I've said it before in this video, but I think it's worth noting again that if you're looking at a medium SUV and you've always liked the X-Trail, but you're aware that it hasn't been able to stay current with the newest in the segment, this one really does do that. The new X-Trail makes its mark that way, and I think it will ensure that the X-Trail stays as popular with Australian buyers as it has been for a long time now. Gee, this is a tough segment. You've got RAV4, Mazda CX-5, Kia, Hyundai, just to name a few. Mitsubishi Outlander, of course, that's in there as well. And now we've got the all-new Nissan X-Trail, and this is a genuinely impressive medium SUV. We really like the way that it drives. We like the flexibility of the cabin. There's plenty of space, it's comfortable, and I think it looks good. The design of it is really, really impressive. It cuts a stylish figure out there on the road. Let us know what you think, because if you're a Nissan fan and you're watching this, I reckon you're probably thinking, finally, we can actually go into battle with the likes of the segment leading RAV4 with a medium SUV that is actually now capable of taking up the fight to the segment leaders. So let us know what you think about the Nissan X-Trail and whether you've been waiting for Nissan to release a fully revised model as they have done here. As always, if you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit like, click on subscribe so you stay up to date with all of our latest content, and the full review of the new Nissan X-Trail, that's at Drive.com.au.